Hello everyone, we are from Group 3 and this is our video presentation of the case study.
Hello everyone, my name is Teo Tianjin, student from the 4th SBEC, and I am doing a video presentation from our coursework Construction Site Management. In this video presentation, I would like to share the project which is propose the design, build and complete of mixed development 121 unit rumah mampu milik Johor, 10 unit shop and office lot, surround multi-purpose hall and related infrastructure work location on the Jalan Cenderasari, Johor Bahru, Johor. After project background, we will explain the site organization, structure, site layout, site production management, and site record and documentation in this case study. Firstly, I would like to talk about the project information from our case study, which is mixed development 121 unit rumah mampu milik Johor in Johor. In this project is a complete phases, one project out of the total 3 phases for mixed development developed by the PIJ. This project consists of the 121 unit of rumah mampu milik Johor with a typically unit measurement 92.91 meter square. The project owner is the PIJ Property Development Sdn Bhd, and the office location is at the Jalan Bukit Timbalan in Johor Bahru. In this case study, there are many parties involved, which is design and build contractor is SYAHIRA Sdn Bhd, architect, civil engineering and structural engineering, mechanical and electrical engineering, quality surveyor, land surveyor, and town planning. The project detail, the tender date is 2016 August. The duration of the project is the 2 years 7 months 18 days or the 960 days from the 2017 February to the 2019 September. The total contract sum is around the 28 million, and the other details as shown as the table. The case study organization chart above is top organization types. In other words, a top organization structure means a top-down system. Based on the organization chart above, the management teams for this project is divided into the 2 groups, which is the office teams and the site team. The management of the construction process is divided into the numerous layers, starting with the chief executive officer and the project director at the top and general staff at their bottom. The most powerful person in the management of this project is the top one that determines the goal and strategy of the project. Under the top management, the management is divided into 3 departments: contact department in the office, site teams in the site, and the consultant team usually in the office and go to the site when needs. Under the department, there is a clear line of command and decisions as made as far up to chain as possible.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Amira. I will be presenting my part, which is site layout for this project. Site layout plans for construction are prepared by contractors as part of their activities before work commencing. So they are crucial part of construction management, as site can be very complex places involving the coordination and movement of large quantity of materials. This is the site layout for this project with a site area of 8,199.3 square meter, and the total area of the building itself is 1,619 square meter. This is the plot ratio for rumah mampu milik Johor, shop and offices, surau and hall. This is the gross floor area with the total of 21,109.63 square meter. So the site layout planning consists of temporary work and services. Before work can begin on a construction site, whether a big or small project, a number of services must be temporarily set up. This is as an addition to the permanent services that will be required for the completed development later. So this will be prepared by contractors, and the example as in site clearing, excavation, compaction of soil, removing existing utilities, and a sheet pile wall also may be constructed to withstand the soil during construction. This is the example for temporary drainage and temporary lighting. One is signage and site hoarding. In order to keep the public from construction site and prevent unauthorized access, hoarding is a temporary structure made from a solid material that is erected around the perimeter. So this is the example for site hoarding. The next one is welfare facilities. The CDM regulation requires that contractors must provide welfare facilities which meet the minimum requirements set out in Schedule 2 of the regulation for their own employees working on site or anyone else under their control. Both clients have an obligation to make certain that adequate welfare facilities are in place before construction begins. So, according to regulation of Schedule 2, the following facilities include sanitary conveniences, washing facilities, drinking water, changing room and lockers, and also facilities for rest. This is the example for welfare facilities. The next one is material storage area. Site storage involves the provision of adequate spaces, protection, and controls for materials, components, and equipment during the construction process. There are several factors to be considered, which is physical properties, organization, controls, protections, security, cost, processes, and also program. And ownership, who is legally responsible for items, who will be using them, and who owns them.
Hello, my name is AZHAR. In this project, I will presenting on site production management. Resources management in this project is divided into 4 sections: labor, materials, plant and machineries, and costs. Okay, next is labor management. All number of manpower, which includes site administration staff and labor force, whether it is skilled or unskilled labor, are recorded daily in a daily site record. General workers in this project stay in the site where quarters or known as rumah kongsi is provided by the main contractor, which meet the JKT requirement. The site administration play an important role to plan the labor according to the scope of work. It is important to get suitable number of labor based on scope of work and the scheduled completion time of all the tasks. And the third one is plant and machineries management. All these and total number of machinery and equipment used to be recorded daily in the daily site report. This report is also important as they also need to be included in the subcontractor and client meeting in a monthly progress report. The project manager and team must make sure that all the plant and machineries are available to be used when needed. In this project, the site staff plan to use the plant and machineries in the site based on the delivery schedule of materials. There are certain plant and machineries that are ordered using MRF with expert delivery team such as lorry and mobile crane. To complete the MRF, this then submitted to the passenger to process the order. For tower crane, all the installation process must meet Jabatan Kesihatan dan Keselamatan Pekerja JKKP requirements. JKKP inspect the high cap tower crane first before any process was to be proceeded. Next, material management. In this project, the site staff give the schedule delivery summary to the passenger, and the passenger contact the supplier to the delivery methods. Similar to the machineries and equipment, there are certain materials that need to be ordered using MRF with expert delivery team. Lastly is cost management. Cost management in construction projects is one of important element and becomes a crucial part of every typical construction project. Cost management for this project is well monitored under the site administration as well as other construction personnel involved in this project. Several stages of cost management in this project are being implemented: cost planning and estimating, cost control and monitoring, and cost analysis and benchmarking.
Hi, I am SHAHIRA and I will continue presenting the elements of the site production for this project. Duties of safety department in the site is one of the way to provide good site production management in this project. There are 5 duties of safety departments. The first one is conducting the toolbox meeting with the workers every Friday morning in front of the site office. The second one is attending meeting with safety departments from other site. This meeting is led by the safety coordinator to discuss the safety matters in the site. The third one is conducting safety induction for every time new workers come to the site. The safety officer provides basic knowledge of work health and safety requirements. Next is site walk and inspection. During site walk, they will photograph any type of danger detected and inform subcontractors and their staff on the toolbox meeting session. They also keep monitoring safety work practice by the workers. The last duty is attending safety audit to ensure several matters related to the safety in construction site. In site production management, the work program also important to help the contractor to plan the works and monitor the progress of the overall project. In a work program, one task can be compared between plan and actual in detail. Based on the S-curve, the actual duration for this project to complete is 961 days compared to what has been planned as in the contract, which is 911 days. The last elements of management in the site is site record and documentation. Formal communication during the project can be categorized as site record. The first form is by using email. The contractor in the site communicate with the headquarters administration, including the quantity surveyor, material officer, and others by sending the related documents throughout the official email of the company. Next is site memo. The memo outlines the essential rules for construction activity and usually delivered to the parties involved after there are any changes in certain conditions of the construction process or other matters. The last formal communication is request for information document. The contractor usually asks the consultant to give the solution and opinion about any problem related to the construction work and drawings. Another site record and documentation in this project is by informal communication. The first one is weekly meeting for every Wednesday. During this meeting, the main contractor and the subcontractor having discussion regarding the progress of work in the construction site. Next is by using electronic devices, which is creating a WhatsApp group and invite all the related parties based on the scope of work. They will discuss the related matters using this platform. The last one is walkie-talkie. Basically, each site administration team, site man, and tower crane operator are getting one walkie-talkie. This walkie-talkie is the easiest way to communicate between the site man and the tower crane operator during the process of unloading and loading materials.
Method statement for the panel work installation. For the green method of statement, for the unloading of general panel, we can use tower or mobile crane or fully electric reach truck. For the distribution of general panel, we can use a pallet jack, inclined single trolley wheel small, pallet jack with timber support, single trolley wheel small, and inclined trolley wheel. Start daily report. Start daily report is to record construction progress as well as various occurrences on the construction site every day. So we can see about the table site daily report. Monthly site report. Monthly site report is summary report is needed during the monthly meeting with the client and the consultant. Monthly site report is prepared by the CCLAT based on the progress of work, and monthly site report is involving the summarize of activities, work program, and change order. For the contract document, are being prepared by the quantity surveyor after the contractor win the tender. The contract document for this project is divided into 3 parts. For first is contractual of general requirement, second technical requirement, and the last is contract drawing. So we can see for the project drawing, for this page is a site plan for this project. For the purchase order and delivery order, it's not same. For the purchase order is a document that is issued by the buyer, which is requesting a service or product from a supplier. Inside a purchase order, one can typically find information about the purchase. And for the delivery order is a document issued by shipper, carrier or freight forwarder.